we've just gotten started cooking for our holiday feast, and I always start with the chicken broth. I started with one video last night, but my camera crew, that would be me, sort of messed that video up, so I'm going to explain to you a little bit more what we started with and what we're going to do here. For a feast of up to 12 people, generally one single recipe of my chicken broth will work. You can use half the chicken broth for the mega head turkey gravy, which we'll do probably on the same day or at least the day after you make the chicken broth. And the rest you'll freeze it for your dressing recipe. We'll need it for that. So this is what I got out of. I made a single batch this time, and that would work for a group of up to about 12. So what I yielded from my turkey broth or my chicken broth was enough chicken broth for about 10 to 12 cups of chicken broth, which I'll use for the dressing. And then I also made the make-ahead turkey gravy. You saw or you will see in the roasting pan. I'll either get turkey wings, thighs, or drumsticks, whatever is available with onions scattered on them. I roast them, and then you get that brown, roasting turkey flavor for the gravy, and you cook it all together, and you make the turkey gravy. The turkey gravy can be held in the refrigerator for up to a week before your feast, or you can freeze it for up to 3 months. So what I like to do is make it nice and early. It's one of the first things I get out of the way. I pop it in the freezer, and I bring it out as needed. I might bring some of it out for Thanksgiving, and then some out for Christmas as well. There's no need to make all this stuff twice. Do it one time, freeze it, and it'll be good through the holiday season. When you have chicken broth, you have chicken meat left over. When I first started doing my cooking for the holidays, my kids would come in to the wonderful smells of cooking for the holiday. Mom would be tired. I've been on my feet all day cooking, and they'd say, "What's for dinner? Can we eat some of what you cooked?" And I'd say, "No, it's for the holidays." So I learned, and so now I take the chicken meat from the chicken broth. I'll pull it off the bones, and I'll have plenty. Even with just a single batch, I had enough for 2 casseroles. I made chicken enchiladas. This is a family recipe, and so here's one batch. It's already cooked, and we'll have that for dinner tonight. So as I was cooking for the holidays, I was always also cooking for dinner. And then this second casserole back here, I'm going to pop that in the freezer, and I can either pull it out one of the evenings or even for a lunch that we have guests here during the holidays, or I can save it and use it for a mom's night off when I'm really tired and I just don't feel like cooking and we got a great meal here. So that's sort of repurposing what you're doing with your holiday cooking so you have more than one meal. Likewise, I had extra turkey meat left over, so I pulled it from the bone. I have 2 containers here. I just put them in Ziploc freezer bags. I'll decide within the next day whether I'm going to freeze it to use later or if I'm going to go ahead and make it into something before I freeze it. 2 ideas. A really good homemade vegetable soup with turkey in it is great. Another thing you can make that can be frozen, or we could have it that evening, is Turkey Tetrazzini. It's pretty easy. So that's how you not only cook for your feast, the main meal, but also have some other meals that you're preparing for that you can pop in the freezer, and also you're not neglecting your family or having to redo or recook something else while you're cooking for your